Hi, so I'm going to show you how to set up a WordPress website on your local computer. The reason this came up is because I was giving a class to some WordPress students, and they wanted some way of practicing on a WordPress installation without messing with their employer's website and the potential to break it, so on. I did recommend that they could go onto WordPress.com, but of course that means that's fine for posts and pages and categories and tags and that kind of thing, but it's not any good really for plugins or anything more complex than that. This way is a way to set WordPress working on your local site. Now, it's simply a matter of installing a program called AMPS and a little bit of basic configuration. You don't need to know any code or anything like that, but in actual reality we are actually setting up a web server on the computer. So what's going on behind the scenes is pretty complex, but it's pretty easy to do really. So this is a website here, and it's actually running on my local development. It's not running on on the web. This is local. If I plugged out all my Wi-Fi and Ethernet and everything, this would still continue to run because it's running locally. So to get this happening, first thing you want to do is download AMPS, which is the program. So I'm just going to Google AMPPS. I'm just going to look it up on Google, and just click on downloads. Now it's this is what it comes with. All these different parts which make up a web server. I'm not going to go into it. You download your package, right? You can download a Windows package, Mac or Linux. I would download the Windows package. I'm not actually going to download it and install it for the simple reason that it's very simple, and I'm going to run you through the steps anyway. And as well as that, it's enormous. It would take you a couple of hours possibly to download this, or certainly probably an hour. It's 190 megs, I think, or something like that. Also I have it set up on my computer, so I don't want to mess it up. But it's fairly simple. I'll explain what the steps are. It shows it on the next page. You'll see. So first step is download that. Now I'm going to Google install AMPS. So you would have downloaded that, and you have that in your downloads folder, wherever, or whichever one, the Mac one, or whichever one you want to use. Now this install AMPS wiki. So the AMPS wiki, it's www.ampps.com/wiki, and the page I'm going into is /install. And I think this is the Windows version, because I think there's I'm just going to go back to here. Actually, just going to go back to the home page of the wiki, because it says installing on Windows, install on Mac. Just for people who want to install on Mac, it is there. Seems to have left out Linux, but obviously it's fairly straightforward anyway. So download the setup. That's the file that we just pointed out. Download that. Start the installation by opening the .exe. Download from the website. Double click it or whatever. You're going to see this wizard. So it's literally just next. Next. I think there's an extra step in there somewhere, but you didn't have to worry about it. It's good to take that one because it'll launch it for you. If not, we can launch it manually. It says that you should have a direct internet connection. It doesn't work with a proxy. Not sure what they're talking about here actually, but I never needed to do that. They also have a support section, so you can open tickets and stuff, and you get this. In fact, there's a video of somebody doing it here, so you could follow along with that. It's only 1 minute, so it's fairly straightforward. So I'm going to open up AMPS, I'm going to open up AMPS, so we're going to get this. I'll just close this down here. Actually, I'm going to leave it open, we might need it. So on my computer I have it pinned here, but you, just like any program that you'd install, you'd want to know where you install it. You'll be deleting the just in case it's not obvious, this file here, the setup file that you downloaded, the big one, you'll delete that after you've done this process, and then it's going to be installed in here. So so it's going to be installed in C AMPS That's where it's installed. You could change it, I suppose. I wouldn't recommend it probably, but so if you were looking for it manually, you could find it there. But I think that's the other step. It asks you to put it on the start menu. So I put it in my start menu. So here it is. So I'm just going to click on it, and it does all this. Okay, first of all, it's warning me about an update. So I'm just going to change that page so it's not a distraction. Where's my amps here? So yeah, first of all, it's telling me there's an update available. That's just me and my computer. I'm not doing that at the moment, so skip that. It's nothing to do. This is what you'll see. Now, I got that I opened it up here, and then I went down here and I double clicked it in the tray. I think it may continue to run depending on, there's lots of configuration here. I'm not going to get into it, but I think it continues to run every time you restart Windows. Not really sure. I just start it and stop it as I need it. So this is a web server, and we actually have a web server running on the computer at the moment. Now there's 3 buttons. This one is I'll do this one first. It opens up a tab here. I have to say I never use this. So this is the admin section. There's lots of great stuff you can do here. I just don't need it for my purposes. This one opens up. We'll get to that in a minute. And this one is our amps home. So this is our kind of control panel. This is where we'll install WordPress. Now, if we open up this one here, this one actually opens up the web page. You could call this the web page. Now, it doesn't look like a web page at the moment, and it won't, because I've got these sub pages in it. But they are containing websites. So you'll have CGI bin, error, fav icon. That's all you'd have. These are other things that I've put onto it. Now, if you were to install WordPress now, it will go in here on this level, and that would be fine. You probably wouldn't want that to happen. You can do it if you want. One reason why you mightn't want it to happen is because you'd only have one installation in the whole thing. You might want 5 or 10 or 2 or something. So I do 2 things. First of all, when I'm installing WordPress, I'm going to install it in a subdirectory. We'll see that in a minute. Actually, I'll show you what that looks like now. So if I go into local development, these are all subdirectories that I've installed WordPress in. So as well as that, though, I also set up a domain, and you don't have to do this, but I do. So just add domain. You'll see how you use it in a minute. It's very simple to do. I'll go www. You don't have to have that part. You don't have to have you can have anything. Just a piece of my domain. That would do. But you can put www.mydomain. Usually you'll put dev if you're going to put a dot anything. Leave those settings the way they are. Make sure host file is checked. Press add domain, and the domain's added. Now you'll see how that works in a minute. Now if I refresh this page here, you'll see that my domain is down there, and when I click on this is really my website as such. Just pay very little attention to the other part of it, unless you're not going to do the domain, that is, in which case this would be your website. But it doesn't really matter which way you do it. Now it's got nothing in it except for CGI bin. Now I'm going to actually go to my computer, see program files x86. That's where it's on this Windows 7 machine. You have to look in the wiki, the AMPS wiki, to see where it is on your machine. If you've got something Windows 8 or something, usually not that hard to find them, where your program's installed. AMPS, that was the program that I installed, and if you go to the www directory, that's where everything is. And you can see my domain is in here. These are my other domains that I've created. This will be empty for you except for that one and that one. It's the very same as this. So this is the files that make up. This is the web page. It doesn't look like a web page now, but it will in a minute. So this is my new domain that I've created, and same here. If I go in here, I'll see that it's got CGI bin. Actually, CGI bin, you can delete it if you want. It doesn't really make any difference. If you leave it there, that's fine. If I delete it there, I see it disappears from here. none of this you have to do anyway, because we could just jump straight to setting up WordPress. I'm just giving you a bit of a guided tour. I'm going to just put that over there and we'll see what's going on here in the actual folder. Now, I'm not going to do it, but if I was to actually put a web page in here, index.html or anything.html, if it would appear here, it would behave just like an ordinary website. Or I'm going to do it just to show you. Index.html, and I won't put anything into it, but I could put code in it if I want. Now if I refresh this, I won't see this, I will see the index page, because that's, for those of you who don't know, that's how the web works. If I was to put some code in here, it'll appear here. If I put a whole website here, it'll appear here. Now I don't want this because I'm going to put WordPress into it, so I'm going to delete that, but that was just to show you. And if I refresh that, it goes back to the basic amps thing. Now that's it, that's the web server completely set up. That's the hard part. So to install WordPress, then I will go back to this guy here, which you get from here if I want, and click on this the amps control panel for all the world, and I just find my WordPress up here. This might be closed, but these are all the things that we can install. And this is what Soft Acculus does. This is the power of Soft Acculus. So if I click on WordPress up here, it's usually first, the most popular. Press install. Now you're usually going to leave the protocol as HTTP // colon // but you could change it if you want. I'm going to change the domain to that one, mydomain.dev. It's the one that I'm using now. Maybe I've gotten mixed up. Mydomain.dev, that's it. If you hadn't have done that domain, by the way, you would just have nothing here except for this one here, and you'd leave it like that. That's how, I mean, you can skip the domain if you want, and if you did that, they would all appear. I'm going back here to, this is the just local host, is your kind of home page for all the world. They would just appear in here. Your installations appear in a line down here, just like I have my domains. So domains is just really a categorization thing. You'll usually only have one domain as well. This is a bit messy because I've been using it for development. So you could do what you want here. You could pick any of these if you've created more than one, or this one if you create none. I'm just going to pick the one I created, mydomain.dev. Now this is where I'm saying on a normal website you wouldn't have it in a subdirectory, in a directory, but in this you will. I want to, so I'm just going to change the name to my new WordPress. Leave it at that. And you don't want spaces in that. Okay, you can leave that. I'm not going to go into, there's lots of discussion about how you could set these. Just leave that alone for now. The security reasons why. You could Google that, research that. Site name, change it to, you know, my site, whatever you want to call it. Site description, this is just part of WordPress. Just change it to whatever you want, or leave it as it is. You can actually do a multi-site if you want. It's a bit more advanced. If you're going to go live with it, you want to change these. Definitely very, very dangerous to leave it like that, but I'm not going to bother because I'm just doing this on my own site. That's fine. I tend to find you need to replace this with you know, a real email here, or whatever. You just put your email in there. It doesn't really need it, but WordPress needs it. So I think the one that they fill in for you is, it might fail. So leave that as you want. There's no need to do that. It's for security. But you know, if you're deploying it, you will want to do something with that. Advanced options. There's no need to really do any of those. It's up to you. You can select a theme if you want. I'm not going to be bothered with this. I'm just going to press install. I think you can install. You can use this. This works if you want. It may not actually work because we don't have an email server set up. I'm not sure how that would work, but I never use it. So press install, and it's going to download and install WordPress. Now it might take a few minutes, so I'm going to put this on pause and come back. Okay, so that's finished installing. So I have my new WordPress installation here, and my administrative URL here in my admin. So if I just control click on the two of those, I can see that I've now got WordPress running on my local site, and here's the admin, whatever admin pass we used for this, and that logs in. That's it.